Eggbot in here. Get to work. Start talking about this book because I've been saying I'm going to do a scope about this. I posted in my blog that I posted yesterday that I'm going to do a scope about this. And then I haven't done one yet, so I'm definitely going to do it now. I know you can't really see it. There we go. Positivity. I live in New York and it's 37 degrees right now, so I have to sit in the sun coming through the window. I guess I can't really see very well. I might move in a few minutes, but for right now, oh, thank you so much, Felicia. Yeah, definitely invite your followers. We're going to be talking about the 10 forms of positivity, as in this book called Positivity by Barbara Fredrickson. I do have a YouTube channel. My name's Taylor McKenna. You're positive this morning? Awesome. I'm so glad. I might actually use egg drop a little bit more here because I can't actually look into the sun very clearly. Oh, hey Hansa, that's you. And another person is Chris. Welcome, Chris. I think you're new to this channel. I do free yoga every morning, and I love to talk about books. So today I'm going to be talking about Positivity by Barbara Fredrickson. I read this book when I was 19, 7 years ago, and it really changed my life. So if you've ever had any struggles with depression, low self-esteem, what she calls the downward spiral, when negativity has such a grip on you that it just keeps pulling you down and down and down. So she talks about what she calls the positive spiral, positivity spiral. So there's so much positivity that it can pull you up. My name's Taylor McKenna on YouTube. I'm not sure, I don't have like a custom URL, unfortunately. It's like all those weird letters and numbers. So if you search Taylor McKenna, maybe search Taylor McKenna Yoga. I have a partner yoga video. I have sun salutations on there. I do some talking about books. I have a video up about the Miracle Morning. I might do some more videos on there. I've been doing a lot on Periscope the past couple weeks because I'm totally addicted to it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Hansa calls me Swifty because he thinks that I'm Taylor Swift. I don't think he thinks I'm Taylor Swift, but my name's Taylor, so he calls me Taylor Swift. So that's what Swifty is. I am not fast. But I'm a fast talker, a fast thinker, so let's get to it. We're going to talk about positivity. So I recommend that you get this book and actually read the whole book. It's really, really awesome. But I'm going to start out with just telling you what the 10 forms of positivity are. And we'll go from there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I do have egg drop going, so even if I don't catch your comment when it's on the screen, I will see it down here on my laptop below. And I have the secret hearts hashtagged in, so if you send hearts, you'll get popcorn and balloons and Kevin Hart's face and refrigerators and all sorts of fun stuff. So you can also play hangman with my eggbot if you get bored. All right, so the 10 forms of positivity. Joy, gratitude, hey Dee, serenity, interest, hope, pride, amusement, one of my personal favorites, inspiration, awe, and love. So I'll read those through again a little more quickly. There's joy, gratitude, serenity, interest, hope, pride, amusement, inspiration, awe, and love. So in the book, she breaks down, I know the sun is kind of like blinding, but in the book she breaks down each one of these and she talks about what they really are and how you experience them. So it's a few pages long. I won't just like read through it straight. So as we talk about each emotion or each form of positivity, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If you have any other questions for me, I know on Periscope we can't really interact other than on our broadcast. So if you have any questions outside of the book, go ahead and ask those now too. So the first one is joy. So let's start with joy. Oh, went too far. Hang on. All right, page 40. Joy. Visualize this. Your surroundings are safe and familiar. Things are going your way, even better than you expected. I like that you can write in Swedish too. I think egg drop is a really, really cool idea. Shout out to Joey who made it. Very cool. At the moment, the situation requires little effort on your part. These are the circumstances that spark joy. If you had the good fortune, as I did when my second son was born, from the book, I don't have any kids, to give birth in a nurturing environment with only the most supportive people present, for me, these were my husband, and only when needed, my nurse midwife. The first moments that you held your newborn were perhaps the most joy-filled of your life. Sadly, not all birth stories unfold as textbook cases of joy. When my first son was born, the joy I felt at finally meeting him face to face was sullied by painful complications and an overwhelmed nurse midwife. And many births, especially in the United States, are too scripted, too rushed, too public, and too medicated to inspire true, heartfelt joy. There are many other sources of joy as well. Perhaps your coworkers have just surprised you at the birthday party, or you open a letter to find an unexpected bonus, or you're out to dinner with new friends and delighting in their good company. Joy feels bright and light. Colors seem more vivid. There's a spring in your step, and your face lights up with a smile and an inner glow. You feel like taking it all in. You feel playful. You want to jump in and get involved. So what brings you joy? What kinds of things bring you joy? I would say my cats bring me joy. What about you guys? Anyone want to shout anything out? What kind of things bring you joy? Make you feel like that uplifted, happy, joyful kind of feeling where you feel like, oh, I just feel so good. I just know today's going to be good. Or I know tonight's going to be really fun, really great. You know, maybe the last time you hung out with friends, I had a ladies' card night over at my house about a month ago, and it was really, really fun. That brought me a lot of joy to have a bunch of my friends and family all over at my new house and all connect and play games, because I love games, as I often say. And if you love games too, feel free to play a game of Hangman with my Eggbot in here. I love doing that, and I won't blame you for playing. I love playing. Okay, so if no one wants to shout anything out on what brings them joy, I'm just going to go on to the next emotion. I'll give you 5 more seconds. Yeah, okay, I like that. So there's immediate joy, short-term joy, and long-term joy. So in America, we hear a lot of people say YOLO, you only live once. And that can be associated with what is known as an Epicurean lifestyle, which is all about the senses and the right now and doing what you want to do right now, and never putting off pleasure and putting off gratification for later, but always having that immediate gratification. So I would say that could be a dangerous form of joy if that's the only type of joy that you seek or get, because it doesn't teach you delayed gratification, which I think is key to creating wealth and accumulating wealth. And I think it's really key to happiness, true joy. And that's what I would call the long-term joy. Hey, Klopnoff, what's up, man? Welcome to the party. We're talking about this book, Positivity, by Barbara Fredrickson, and the 10 forms of positivity that she covers in this book. We just talked about joy, and we're talking about what kinds of things bring us joy. Dee asked a really good question. He asked, what about, there's immediate joy, short-term joy, and then long-term joy. So I would say immediate joy is maybe things with my cat. My cat does something really cute or funny, and it brings me a lot of joy. Shalom, shalom, shalom and joy. My voice is relaxing? Thank you. That's so nice to say. Even when I'm not doing meditation. You're so kind. Thank you. Actually, Foul Original said that to me yesterday too. Very kind. And my grandma's friend, shout out to, I think it was Jean, said that I had a really relaxing voice. So I appreciate that. And it gets better by videotaping yourself. Because when you hear yourself on video, you're like, woo, let me stop saying that word so many times. Let me slow down. Let me do this. So definitely recommend doing more broadcasts just to practice your speaking skills. You can always do it private with yourself, but it's easier when you're actually talking to a person, because that shows you your true speaking, the true words that you use, the true mannerisms. You can see I use my hands a lot, maybe too much. So then what would short-term, so I can think of long-term joy. Long-term joy would be me and my husband, the joy that we bring each other. It's at this point has been 5 years, so it's already been long-term. Hopefully it continues for the rest of our lives as well. It's not 100% of the time it's joy, but we're very blessed. We're very lucky to have found each other. We're very happy with each other. So what would short-term joy be? Maybe after you exercise. So when you first exercise, it might not be immediate joy, because you're like, oh, I stink, I'm sweaty, I'm sore, I feel tired, I feel hungry, my blood sugar might be a little too low or something like that. And then later you feel really good that you went to the gym. Yeah, definitely play some Hangman. I don't think you have to say, I think if you say Eggbot first, it won't work. So just start with just hashtag Hangman. He'll know. He'll pick it up. He's monitoring everything. I like how I'd call the robot a he. You know, maybe Eggbot's a she. Why not? I don't think it's either because it is a robot. So yeah, I would say maybe exercise is like a short-term form of joy where nobody likes going to the gym, but everyone likes having gone to the gym. So that joy after you do yoga, you might feel like, whoa, that was crazy. But then a few hours later, you're like, yeah, I did yoga this morning, got my day started off right. And then you feel some joy and that borderlines on pride as well. But I think we get the idea. So we can move on to the next one, or we'll be here all day and my stomach just grumbled. I'm starting to get hungry. So our second form of positivity here, we went over joy, and now we're going over gratitude. So imagine you've just realized that someone has gone out of their way to do something good for you. Your neighbor, a retired school teacher. Your neighbor, a retired school teacher, offers to entertain your kids for a few hours one afternoon. A mentor gently steers your career in the right direction. Your spouse cleans up and makes dinner on your busiest day so you don't have to. A store clerk is especially helpful and kind as you make a complicated exchange. The neighbor kid shovels your walkway after a heavy snow. Or maybe it's not even a person who has brought you tremendous benefit. We can feel grateful for breathing clean air, having able bodies, or having a safe and comfortable place to rest when weary. In any case, gratitude comes when we appreciate something that has come our way as a gift to be treasured. Gratitude opens your heart and carries the urge to give back, to do something good in return, either for the person who helped you or for someone else. Gratitude, though, has an evil twin: indebtedness. If you feel you have to pay someone back, then you're not feeling grateful. You're feeling indebted, which often feels distinctly unpleasant. Indebtedness pays back begrudgingly, as part of the economy of favors. In contrast, gratitude gives back freely and creatively. It's a truly pleasant feeling intermixed with joy and heartfelt appreciation. And gratitude doesn't play by the rules. It's not the etiquette we teach our kids. Too often I find myself prodding my kids with, "What do you say?" when they're silent upon receiving a gift or a kindness. When they push out a monotone "thanks," they're only being polite, not grateful. Gratitude is not mindless manners or tit-for-tat reciprocity. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. True gratitude is heartfelt and unscripted. The film and social movement Pay It Forward is a great example of gratitude in action. It started with one boy doing 3 good deeds for 3 others. The one request the young benefactor had was that instead of paying the favor back, the recipients should pay it forward to 3 new people in some creative and fitting way. When was the last time you felt grateful? Not polite or indebted, but truly and openly grateful. I want to hear what you guys have to say, so let me know when you felt grateful. Hey Jake. I think Jake's already gone, but hello and goodbye. D, yeah, you said so true. It is. It's a big difference between feeling like you have to pay someone back and feeling like you just want to give to them because you're feeling good and happy. And my phone's starting to die here. Let me just plug that in. So what makes you guys feel grateful? What I was going to say, I loved it when my niece was shouting at me after opening a gift that disappointed her. Oh my gosh, so you got her something and she didn't like it, so she started yelling at you? What was the gift and what did she say? Oh, I just kicked my glasses across the floor. That sounds like a good story. Klopnoff will have to hear it. What I was going to say makes me feel really grateful is when you guys all show up for my yoga and my scope. Try not to knock over the phone here. Is when you guys show up for my scopes. I just feel really grateful when I get to connect with like minds, with people who agree with me on a lot of things and want to hear what I have to say and I want to hear what they have to say. I have more hearts than you? Oh my gosh. That's because you delete your broadcasts. If you keep your broadcasts up, people can go in and like them. She must have liked some of the other gifts you've been giving her. Yeah, you shouldn't have switched it up. You should have just stuck with what you were doing. What did you give her, and what was she shouting about? What did she say? Anyone else want to say anything else they're grateful for? A good challenge with this is called the gratitude journal. So if you write down on a piece of paper one new thing that you're grateful for every day for 21 days. Cool socks. That sounds like a good gift. But yeah, kids don't really appreciate clothes. Yeah, they like toys, maybe books. When my niece and nephew always ask me to visit and play, etc. with them. Yeah, isn't that so nice? Like, you really appreciate that. It's like, it's not like you feel like you have to pay them back. It just feels good. You really appreciate that. That's really sweet. I love my niece and nephew too. My niece is 3 and my nephew now is just a few months old. So I'm loving my little babies, and I don't want to have any kids of my own, so I love being an auntie. Yeah, your whole family. Yeah, it's grateful to have a family. Think of how many people are out there that don't. You know, I look a little bit more normal in this shade, so why don't I just kind of shift here? I think that's good. I'm a little off center, but I don't really want you guys to see my mess over here. You gotta have the right lighting for your videos, so it's worth it. Don't look over there. Just ignore. Oh, and there's only like this one little strip that I can keep my head in, so let's see how this works. Later, she loved the socks, but I appreciated her honesty. Yeah, that's true. So you appreciate that she was, she showed you how she truly felt. She didn't just say, thank you. She was like, socks? Really? Really, Uncle Martin? No socks. Never get me socks again. You're happy that you have family. Me too. I love my family. I'm very blessed. My family loves to play games. That's probably where I get it from. Oh, gratitude journal. So you write down one new thing that you're grateful for every day for 21 days, and it has to be something new each day. So you can't write the same thing more than once. And what that's been proven to do is actually rewire your brain, so when you look out into your environment, instead of looking for things to complain about, gripe about, be negative about, you actually look for things to be grateful for, because you're going to have to go write it down in your gratitude journal, and it actually teaches your brain to look for things to be grateful for, which changes your whole perspective on life. And you haven't gotten your niece socks ever sent. Maybe if you got her like sock puppets, that could be fun. But that's funny. So you learned your lesson. That's good. You took it to heart. You took her honesty. And now you'll just get her toys and books until she's old enough to really care about socks. When she's like a teenager, she'll care about cool socks again. All right, so let's move on to the next form of positivity. This is our third one, called serenity. Like joy, serenity enters when your surroundings are safe and familiar and require little effort on your part. But unlike joy, serenity is much more low-key. It's when you let out that long, luxurious sigh because your current circumstances are so comfortable and so right. That's good. That's good that you're holding on to positivity, Dee. I'm glad to hear that. It's when you lie back in a shaded hammock after a day of strenuous and rewarding work in your garden. Workload, stress, definitely. I'll have to do some scopes about that, about time management. What kind of scheduler do you use? What kind of calendar do you use? Do you use Google Calendar? That helps me a lot with managing things. I have a book recommendation for you if you like to read. Do you like to read, Dee? It's called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. So Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. It's all about prioritizing, getting things done, and realizing that you can't do everything. You can't get everything done, so you just have to focus on the most important things every day. So always keeping your priorities straight, always doing the most important and the hardest things first, and then going down. So it's always about doing the hardest or most important things first in the day, and then it's creative procrastination. You have to put something off, so you might as well put off the low vibration, the low yielding type tasks and results. Oh, you're a teacher. What subject do you teach, and to what age group? You've bought many socks in your life? I have to go sock shopping, actually. Okay. Serenity. It's strolling down a sandy beach on a bright morning with ocean sounds filling your head and a cool breeze tingling your skin. It's curling up with a good book and a warm lap cat. That sounds like me. I think this lady knows me. Where am I? With your favorite cup of tea beside you. I like tea. I have a lot of different kinds of tea. It's that sinking into the mat feeling of Shavasana, the traditional closing pose in yoga practice. That's really creepy. I feel like this is about me. I live a life of a lot of serenity, and I try to bring serenity to a lot of other people because I believe that it really heals our nervous systems and that we spend too much time in a state of stress and fight or flight. So we need to be rest and digest instead. See, Felicia liked sax when she was younger. Maybe you and Klopnoff are meant to be together. Okay, you're a teacher of IT. What's ICT? Information, something technology, perhaps, among a few other things. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, you're helping the future. You know, you're molding the future, maybe, if you think of it that way. Maybe if you start that gratitude journal looking for things to be grateful for, even if it's one student at a time, it could maybe help you. Communication. Oh, you teach. Oh, okay, so information communication technology? That's cool. That actually sounds like it might be right up my alley. I love socializing. I love communicating, in case you can't tell. Serenity makes you want to sit back and soak it in. It's a mindful state that carries the urge to savor your current circumstances and find ways to integrate them into your life more fully and more often. Maybe like going on Periscope every morning and meditating with Taylor. That'll bring some serenity. When you tell yourself, I need to do this more often, that's serenity. I call serenity the afterglow emotion. It often comes on the heels of other forms of positivity, like joy, pride, amusement, or awe. Just today, my 4-year-old son, high on having created his first wood sculpture in preschool, expressed this afterglow quality of serenity beautifully. As he got into the car after school, he sank back into his car seat and said with a smile and a sigh, I just love everything. Talk about mind broadening. Think about the last time you savored a serene moment like this. I would say just this morning. I had a really good meditation this morning. I don't know about y'all, but I felt good. I was a little fidgety, but my mind, I felt like I had a nice revelation about looking for the inner beauty in all people and all things. And when you feel insulted by someone, to want them to see their own inner beauty and for them to feel their own self-esteem and not to remain so self-centered and think it's all about you and your pain and your emotion and what they said to you, what happened to you. Remember that they could have had something much worse happen to them that's making them lash out like that. And only when you're strong in this positivity, this upward spiral, will you be able to do that. Will you be able to kind of just let it bounce off and send positivity to that person in response rather than negativity. And if anyone else wants to talk about any serene moments that they've had, feel free. I'd love to hear about it. And I'm going to go on to the next. Here we go. The belief and prayer connection I practice. Okay, so are you religious? What religion do you practice? Who do you pray to? And this next one's kind of short, and like I said, I'm hungry, so I'm going to read through this one, and then we can talk more about serenity, and then we'll talk about interest. So interest. Although you're feeling perfectly safe, something new or different draws your attention, filling you with a sense of possibility and mystery. Unlike joy and serenity, these circumstances call for effort and increased attention on your part. You're utterly fascinated. You're pulled to explore, to uncover, to immerse yourself in what you're just now discovering. It's when you see a new path in the woods and want to find out where it leads. It's when you uncover a new set of challenges that allow you to build your skills, whether in cooking, bridge, or dancing. It's that fascinating new book that awakens you to new ideas. When you're interested, you feel open and alive. You can literally feel your horizons expanding in real time, and with them, your own possibilities. The intense pull of interest beckons you to explore, to take in new ideas, and to learn more. When did interest last draw you in by the nose? And Dee, I didn't mean to cut you off. I definitely want to hear about your beliefs and your prayer practice that you just talked about. Let me know. Let me know what you think. So as far as interest goes, I feel interest all the time. What about you guys? When's the last time you felt deep interest? I want to read a new book every week, and I have been doing that. So, oh, it crashed. Is it working now, I hope? When you're content, even when you're not all that happy, you're almost there, I guess. Yeah, and in Buddhism, they believe that a lot, that you want to remain content in all circumstances, even positive ones. It's trying to keep that even keel. And my husband's really good at that. He's really good at not getting like overly manic and overly excited and where I tend to live there. And that way he kind of prevents himself from dipping into deeper depression, which I actually don't really go there too often either. You know, we all have down days, but... Okay, Felicia, go get clean and enjoy your shower, and I hope you have a good day too. And if you do any broadcasts, I will try to catch them faster than I did yesterday. So, and if you do longer broadcasts, that'll help me so that I can actually catch some of them, because I do want to see you and talk to you and send you tons of hearts on your page. And if you do #Oscars, that'll give you the popcorn hearts, if you care. Okay, so we'll go on to hope. And I would say the last time interest drew me in by the nose, I would say, is probably Periscope. I'm very interested in this platform. So the next one. Okay, yeah, next broadcast you can mention it. That works for me. We're already going way over the time that we're supposed to go on this broadcast. The manic thing can become a problem, but not for you, I think. Yeah, like it's really, yeah, if it's manic depressive, so if you're like up and down and up and down and up and down, my even keel is kind of like this, you know, I've always been this way as far back as I can remember. I remember being like 13 years old and sitting on a bench in a hotel where people would walk by all the time, and I would just sit on the bench and go, hi, 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 to every single person that walked by. Super annoying, but that's just my social kind of energy. I was like, hey everyone, let's hang out, let's talk, let's be friends. And some of them did become friends, and some of them I still know to this day. It was like a youth conference. It wasn't just a bunch of like adults at a hotel, but yeah, excitement's definitely not bad, and that's probably one of the ones in here. Like amusement, I think amusement is a big thing to me. I was amused by doing that, and I love humor. I love stand-up comedy. That's like my favorite thing ever. I could watch stand-up comedy all day, every day. Personally, I don't think I could be a stand-up comic, but I could definitely support them and cheer for them and laugh hysterically at them, because I laugh at my own jokes, and that doesn't really make for good stand-up. Okay, so I actually saw Kevin Hart when he came here to upstate New York. I've seen a few famous comedians, but he was the biggest one that you guys would know of. Maybe his face will pop in one of these hearts here. Yes, I love Kevin Hart. Okay, so we're moving on now. I don't know what number we're on. I think this is the 4th one, I believe. Hope. We're not even halfway through. All right. Although most positivity arises when you feel safe and satiated, hope is an exception. If everything were already going your way, there would be little that you'd need to hope for. Hope comes into play when your circumstances are dire. Things are not going well for you, or there's considerable uncertainty about how things will turn out. Hope arises precisely within those moments when hopelessness or despair seem just as likely. Perhaps you've just failed an important test, lost your job, found a lump in your breast, or scooped up your child after a bloody bike accident. Hope, in desperate situations like these, is fearing the worst but yearning for better. Deep within the core of hope is the belief that things can change. No matter how awful or uncertain they are at the moment, things can turn out better. Possibilities exist. Hope sustains you. It keeps you from collapsing into despair. It motivates you to tap into your own capabilities and inventiveness to turn things around. It inspires you to plan for a better future. The anthropologist Lionel Tiger casts hope as the evolved antidote to our big human forebrains. Unlike any other earthly creature, we humans can envision our own futures and, in so doing, all possible calamities. Without hope, our uniquely human ability to forecast our inevitable death and demise would leave us in motionless despair. With hope, we become energized to do as much as we can to make a good life for ourselves and for others. Was it hope that motivated you to read this book? You're not really reading the book, but you should. Positivity by Barbara Fredrickson, one of my favorite books of all time. She's a PhD, and it's all about the study of positive psychology. So hope, I've been very lucky. I haven't, well, I guess actually right now, you know what, I'm starting up. I quit my job in September, and I've been doing now 2 businesses, and I have kind of that entrepreneurial spirit where I'm always thinking of new ideas and new things. So I have a lot of hope when it comes to that. But when you're starting up a business, if you've ever done that, it can feel a little bit intimidating. There can be some fear. Hope definitely helps you to push on and get through it. And if you didn't have hope, you probably wouldn't have quit your job and gone into business for yourself anyway. Thank you, and thank you for all the hearts. I love it. If you guys want to talk about anything that you feel hopeful about, feel free. I know a lot of people are very hopeful about Donald Trump. I was actually thinking about him because I know a lot of people have negative feelings towards him, and I was wondering if anyone was meditating on sending him health and happiness and love and safety and peace. Just a bit intimidating? Oh yeah, starting a business? Yeah, just a bit. Just a little. Trump and the future. Yeah. That's good. That's good that you're hopeful about it. I definitely am too. So then we'll move on to our 5th one. So we're about halfway through now into pride. This one's kind of long, so I'll read it a little bit quick. Pride is one of the so-called self-conscious emotions. We all know its evil cousins, shame and guilt. These painful feelings overcome us when we're to blame for something bad. Pride is the opposite. We're to blame for something good. As one of the so-called 7 deadly sins, pride has a mixed reputation. Hey, I saw a Kevin Hart face there. We say pride makes people's heads swell, or that pride comes before a fall. Any emotion can go too far, and perhaps this is especially true for pride. Unchecked, pride becomes hubris. But when specific and tempered with appropriate humility, pride is clearly a positive emotion. Pride blooms in the wake of an achievement you can take credit for. You invested your effort and skills and succeeded. It's that good feeling you get when you put the finishing touches on a home improvement project, whether it's fixing the washing machine, planting a garden, or redesigning your bedroom. Or when you achieve something in school or at work, aced a test, won a race, made a sale, or published your ideas. Or when you recognize that you made a difference to someone else through your help, kindness, and guidance. These are not just any achievements, but socially valued ones. We sense at a deep level that our actions will be valued by others. That is what makes pride a self-conscious emotion. Unless you're a sociopath, you're acutely aware of how your actions, good and bad, can be perceived by others. You feel pride when you're praiseworthy and guilt when you're blameworthy. Pride carries with it the urge to share the news of your achievements with others, either in words, hey, look what I did, gestures like an upright posture, head tilted slightly back, slight smile, hands on hips, or arms raised in victory, or both. Yes, it's all about balancing, D. It's all about balancing pride and arrogance, pretty much. It has to be justified pride. The mindscape of pride is expansive as well. It kindles dreams of further and larger achievements in similar domains. If I can do this, maybe I can ... open my own business, landscape the front yard, redesign the living room, earn a scholarship, make the Olympic team, be promoted, make a difference in the world. In this way, pride fuels the motivation to achieve. Well-controlled laboratory experiments show that when people feel pride, they are more likely to persist on difficult tasks. What makes you proud, and what has pride inspired you to do? And definitely answer that. Let me know what you guys are proud of. The sun's moving on me here. Let me shift. Do a little dance. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's like this one little thing between my windows that I'm trying to keep my head in. So power poses. This is something, there's a great TED Talk about this by Amy Cuddy. And it's just basically like putting your hands on your hips or putting your arms out wide. You really just want to like occupy a ton of space, really proud chest, and you hold that for at least 2 minutes. And that actually helps to boost your testosterone levels and decrease your cortisol levels, which is linked to decreased stress and improved performance. So if you're going into a, say like your annual review or you have an interview for a new job, definitely do some power poses before you go. You're proud of your confidence and abilities. Yeah, I mean, if you teach IT, I'm sure you have a lot of skills and abilities that you could be proud of, for sure. So pride, I guess I would say that I'm proud of doing these free live yoga streams and even these free live broadcasts, because I could be charging for this kind of stuff, but I'm inspired by Tai Lopez, as I say a lot, and he puts a lot of his content out for free, so why not me? Why not copy the people who are doing a great job with it? And I am developing some information products I'll have available for sale, but right now it's only for yoga teachers, so I'll have to come up with some type of information products that you guys can buy so that I can keep doing this and pay my bills and not have to, work 10 million other jobs and get distracted from doing this, because I love doing this. Thank you for the thumbs and the hearts. All right, so we'll move on to amusement. So I would say amusement is my favorite one, but then I really like interest too, which we glossed over, but I love reading and I love learning new things. I'm learning sign language, Spanish, Felicia is teaching me a little bit of Swedish, kind of. Not really, but maybe a little bit. Okay, amusement. Sometimes something unexpected happens that simply makes you laugh. Oh, you're proud of your sister, her kids, and your mom. That's really sweet. So you're actually proud of other people. You're like proud to be their relative and proud to know them and proud of their accomplishments. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. That's definitely humble pride, I would say. Okay, amusement. A friend makes a funny face after she tries your latest dinner creation. You mistakenly direct your preschooler to use the tub and get in the toilet. A neighbor shares her latest favorite joke. What do you call an agnostic, dyslexic insomniac? It doesn't have the answer. I have no idea what you call them. A colleague jokes about the worst time of day to hold meetings. Not intending to wring the fun out of such silliness, social scientists describe these circumstances as non-serious social incongruity. This label makes two important distinctions about the surprises, or incongruities, that bring amusement. First, amusement is social, probably why I love it so much. Although at times we laugh alone, those laughs are only pale renditions of the laughter we share with each other. In fact, like yawns, laughter is highly contagious. Second, surprises are only amusing if they're embedded within safe contexts, not if they're dangerous or threatening. A seeker or a dreamer, I guess. That's you? That's what you are? Oh, is that like interest you mean? You're a seeker of interest? So where are we here? It's not funny if it's dangerous or threatening. If your friend makes a face because she's choking, or if your neighbor's joke is offensive, you're not amused. Oh, the insomniac one? Hey, Warbird, yeah, definitely. This book is called Positivity by Barbara Fredrickson. It's all about positive psychology. She's a PhD. I read this book 7 years ago, and it changed my life. So I've been meaning to do a scope about it, and now seemed like as good a time as any. So we're through, I think we just went through our 6th form of positivity, so you can go back and catch the replay for the first ones. But just a quick recap, we went over joy, we went over gratitude, we went over serenity. Oh yeah, here, I'll put it up in just a second. We went over interest, we went over hope, we went over pride, and we went over amusement. Let me get all right, how's that look? You got it? Let me know if you need me to hold it up again. Oh, did anybody miss it? Everyone got it? I'm just gonna like sit here. Did you get it, Warbird? Cool. All right. I saw some screenshots going off, but I didn't know who was screenshotting what, so I was just kind of like holding it there. All right. So, oh yeah, we didn't finish going over amusement. Actually, I'm still saying it because we were we were trying to figure out what the answer to the joke was. She put a footnote, so it probably does have the answer somewhere here in the back. I'll look for it right after we finish up amusement. Hello, Bombi Bomb. Is that Privyet? Privyet. Hi, hello, welcome. We are in America, in New York. Hello, are you in Russia? All right, so where are we? So it's not funny if your friend makes a face because she's choking. By definition, then, amusements are non-serious. Heartfelt amusement brings the irrepressible urge to laugh and share your joviality with others. Let me just translate this Russian here. Do you believe in God? You're from Kazakhstan. Hello, it's just like Borat. It's like Borat from Kazakhstan. Yeah, I don't know if I believe in God, honestly. I would say that I don't know, so I would say maybe I don't right now. For self-help, you recommend positivity all the time. In this book, she actually says that as long as you have 3 positive interactions for every 1 negative experience, that you'll actually be able to combat any type of negativity and you'll be on this upward positive spiral. So every time you notice you've had a negative thing happen to you, consciously try to bring 3 forms of positivity to your life. So watch a stand-up comedy special, connect with a friend you really like, get out in nature, feel awe about something, go to Niagara Falls, like whatever it is for you. Watch a documentary, get your interest going. Pride, do some power poses, whatever works for you. So thank you, Blondie. Thanks for inviting your followers. That's awesome. If you guys think you have people that would benefit from learning about this positivity, definitely feel free to go ahead and invite your followers as well. I think I caught all of this. Does God believe in me, though? Well, if God exists, I would say he should believe in me. I'm right here. I'm here. I'm talking. You could touch me. I mean, Allah is too big. Oh, thank you, Warbird. Thank you. What's your name? I feel like I'm calling you Warbird. I think I knew your name at one point, but I forget. Dougie Doug Doug. That's who you are. Yes, Doug. Okay. Yeah, so Allah is too big. That's fine. I'm not opposed to people who believe in God. I would say that if there is one God, that he's probably quite large. Or she. It, I guess. I still haven't finished reading Amusement, so I probably should. I'm just trying to keep up with this Russian here. You already asked me if I believe in God. I don't think you can understand English, so I'm just going to stop answering. Okay, so heartfelt amusement brings the irrepressible urge to laugh and share your joviality with others. Shared laughter signals that you find your current situation to be safe and lighthearted, and that you'd like to use this blessed time to build connections with others. When was the last time you laughed? I used to go to there's a positive power in spirituality. It could go either way, I suppose. Christians believe that if you don't accept Jesus as your savior of your soul, that you will burn in hell for all of eternity. And I used to be an evangelical Christian, so I feel like I've earned my right to state this. Who are you, na life? Openal. I'm not sure what that means. I love how you guys are speaking in Russian right now. Anna. Okay. All right. I'm going to let you guys talk in Russian to each other, and I am going to... And if you guys want to tell me the last time you laughed, if you didn't laugh, there's this great positive yoga. You can look up just like laughter yoga, I think it's called. And they just, like, in the meditation, it's just like you just do all these weird laughs. So you just, like, ha, 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 and then, like, hee, 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 hee. And, oh, hey, Jake. What's up? Welcome back. So you try all these different laughs, like ha 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 ha, and then like the fake laugh, like ha 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 ha. You just keep doing all these different laughs until something actually starts making you laugh authentically, and you'll just start laughing. You won't be able to stop laughing, especially when you do it in a big group. Especially when you hear people with really funny laughs. so he's asking you where you're from, Klapnoff. And welcome, Jake. We're talking about the 10 forms of positivity. We've gone through 6 of them so far. Oh, here, let me see if I can find the answer to that joke. So the joke is, what do you call an agnostic, dyslexic insomniac? Don't expect me to know the answer. Klapnoff already guessed. He guessed a dreamer. It's so stupid. It wasn't even worth looking it up. You're an atheist? Okay. So, oh, you call them an atheist. Okay. A bad neighbor? That's funny. So, it's not funny at all, but I'm going to say it anyway. So, what do you call an agnostic, dyslexic insomniac? Someone who lies awake at night wondering if dog exists. That's the joke. Hee hee hee. So not very funny. But if you go on Netflix, there's all sorts of awesome stand-up comedy that will make you pee your pants. So pee and then watch it. Let's move on to the next. Oh, Danielle just went live. I love her. She's awesome, but I'm live, so I'm going to keep watching myself. All right, so we're going on to inspiration. And actually, Danielle is very inspirational, so if you don't follow Danielle Willingham, go ahead and follow her. She is a little religious, so don't talk about God on there unless you want to get blocked. I mean, unless you're saying good things about God, but she's pretty Christian, I believe. So she's nice. You know, she's all about motivational speaking and making money and being all about business and self-development, so you can overlook her Christianity if you don't like it. What is dog backwards? It would be God. And that was the joke because the person's dyslexic, so. Dan who? Dan. Did I say Dan? Oh, Danielle. So it's Dawniel. Danielle. So it's like Dawn, the name Dawn, and then IEL on the end of it. And she's cool. Welcome back, Jake. All right, so let's get into inspiration. Every so often, you come across true human excellence. I think that's a good way to describe her. You transcend the ordinary, seeing better possibilities than usual. You're very welcome, Dee. Witnessing human nature at its very best can inspire and uplift you. Perhaps you see a colleague step away from his own pressing schedule to patiently help a disoriented older man find his way through the labyrinth of the medical center. Doug just got the joke. I don't even know if I ever got it. Really don't think it's very funny. Or you see tennis genius Roger Federer play a flawlessly fluid game in the US Open. You read the work of a poet who seems to see into the core of the human soul. Or you witness one of your role models doing what she does best. I'm no flavor of Christian. I'm definitely no flavor of Christian. Hinduism doesn't bother me though. I kind of like the idea of having like a different god for each thing. So when you need to remove, actually, you know, Catholicism does that too. They pray to different saints. So, I mean, but the saints aren't God. So I don't know. I'm just not very religious. If I want to learn something, I Google it, or I look it up in a book, or I talk to people about it. I don't usually pray for anything, but I do sometimes just try to send positive energy. Like if I know someone's grieving. One of my former clients that I used to work with passed away, and she was only 17. So I know her parents are grieving, and you know I grieved a little bit last night for them, and it wasn't like, but I didn't pray for them, but I did try to send them like just let them know that they're, you know, so I guess it was kind of prayer, but I don't really even believe in like energy work, like Reiki and stuff like that as well. I'm pretty scientifically based, so if there's no science to prove it, I kind of wait for the science to come around. Not in the past though. I was pretty convinced people were going to burn in hell in the past, so kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is, you know? It made me who I am today. It made me really crave the real truth and to really find the underlying truth to news stories and societal norms and everything that you could imagine. That, you know, I'm very unconventional. There's actually a really cool personality test I recommend you take. If you have a pen or a paper, if you can text this somewhere, or maybe you'll remember it. It's called Hexaco. So it's spelled HEXACO. Today's magic is tomorrow's science. That's pretty profound. I like that, Doug. So Hexaco, again, that's HEXACO. And when I looked through, when I took that test, I got the most unconventional that you could be. It's like it rates you from 1 to 5, I think, or 0 to 5. And 5 out of 5 means that you're like 100% that. I got that on conscientiousness. So I got 5 out of 5 conscientiousness, which means like you're aware of the situation. You're aware if like you're going to offend someone or whatever. And then also unconventional. So I got 5 out of 5 unconventional. Some people might say that's a little too unconventional. Like I think Tai Lopez would actually say that my weird factor is probably a little too high. But I'm down with it. I got 6 people here on Periscope watching me. That's fine. I'll take actually one of them's Eggbot, so I'll take the 5 of you that are here interested in what I'm saying, and I'm happy with that, you know? You guys don't think my weird factor is too high yet? You stopped the examination. Well, are you talking to me? Because I don't believe in God, really. I mean, I don't say I know that there is no God, but I just don't really have I haven't had a need for God in a long time. I hope that didn't just jinx me. I'm going to knock on wood for that one. Not yet? What do you mean not yet? What did I ask? I always forget what I ask on Periscope. I get distracted by the comments and I'm like, not yet. Oh, yeah, because I said that you're not freaked out by my weirdness. Yeah, all right, I got you, Jake. I got you. Yeah, well, you witnessed me being pretty weird at Walmart yesterday and walking right past some things that were sitting right in front of me. So the fact that you're still here watching me makes me feel pretty good. That was pretty weird. I get a lot weirder, so stay tuned. All right, where are we here? Okay. Oh, we're talking about inspiration. So, I already said that. Okay, feeling inspired rivets your attention, warms your heart, and draws you in. It's the polar opposite of feeling disgusted by human depravity, which instantly repels you. Inspiration doesn't simply feel good, it makes you want to express what's good and do good yourself. It creates the urge to do your best so that you can reach your own higher ground. Along with gratitude and awe, inspiration is considered one of the self-transcendent emotions. It's a form of positivity that pulls us out of our shell of self-absorption. Sadly, inspiration is not the only response you might have to seeing someone else do something extraordinarily well. Like gratitude, inspiration has an evil twin. Whether you call it resentment or envy, it arises when we see human excellence and respond with negativity. We grumble, mock, tear the person down, or beat ourselves up for not doing equally well. When we compare ourselves with someone who does better than we do, sometimes we get discouraged instead of inspired. Whether you respond to human excellence with positivity or negativity is a choice. It's a choice about whether your heart is open or closed. With this choice, you can step onto an upward spiral or a downward spiral. Can you think of a time when you made the choice to be inspired? I would say Danielle is a good example of that for me because she gets tons of people in her Periscopes all the time, way more than I get. And, you know, I could feel jealous about that. But instead, I'm like, I'm inspired. I want to learn from her, see what she does. Do I agree that spirituality can be a source of personal motivation? Yeah, of course. I mean, I was very Christian, and it motivated me to do a lot of stuff that I now regret. But, yeah, it was a huge motivator for sure. And it's not like it was negative. It's not like I was hurting anyone. I wasn't telling people they were going to burn in hell. But I spent a lot of time convincing people that Jesus was the only way to save their soul. And they believed me, and I believed me. I was quite convincing and persuasive, and I wish that I wasn't using my persuasive abilities to get them to believe that they were sinners and terrible people and they needed salvation. I much rather would have been teaching them that they should read books and work for themselves. Or work for, you know, a company that they really want to work for. Things like that. You know, I see that that's something that people really struggle with, and people use God and spirituality sometimes as a crutch for pain, depression, anxiety, social ostracism, and I think that's, I learned my lesson from that. So I think that perhaps it has some potential for good, and there's someone, for me, like when I was in my early teens, I was suicidal. I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself. I contemplated ways to do it. And a lot of, unnecessary judgment and emotional isolationism. It isolated me too because people didn't want to hang out with me. People didn't want to talk to me. All I ever wanted to talk about was Jesus and try to convince them while they were wrong about him and I was right about him. And and it ostracized me, you know, as well as them, because then they were feeling like they were being judged by me, and they kind of were in a way, you know. There was something else. What was I talking about there for a second? I lost it. But earlier she said something about sociopaths, and I do have a couple books about mental disorders. So I have a book about sociopaths, and then narcissism too. So sociopaths and narcissists. In my situation, I did the only rational thing. Yeah, I mean, I believe there's a lot of books that try to use science to prove Christianity, and I read a lot of those books, and they helped convince me, and they gave me even more motivation and fire. So I'm just, basically all I want to say about that is that I'm done with that now, and now I'm using it for something that I believe is even better. And maybe I'll go back to that one day. You never know. You know, I never would have thought I would have come away from it, so. Oh, thank you. I don't know that I'm more evolved than you. I think probably as a female, I'm more connected with things like spirituality and emotion and sensory type things, inner sense things like intuition. There's a lot of pro-Christian philosophy too. Yeah, I'm a conservative. Well, I'm not really. I'm a libertarian, so I want, you know, smallest government possible, the most freedom possible for the most people possible, and what was I going to say about that? What did you just say right before that? Oh, pro-Christian philosophy, yeah, because the conservative side, which is much more in alignment with what I believe than the liberal side, is, why do I keep losing this? Oh, because they're very Christians. Like, I just feel like there's so many really, really, really strong Christians on the right, and I don't want them there, and I don't want abortion to be an issue between sides. Like, if we want small government and less law, less regulation, why are we advocating for a law against abortion? I guess there's the whole thing of life, and it is someone's life, but I believe, and maybe it's because I'm a woman, but I'm socially liberal. You know, that's how libertarians are. I want freedom for everyone to be able to do what they want, when they want, how they want, with who they want. I would say after a certain point, when the baby can survive on its own without the mother, without being in the womb of the mother, like it could be taken out and survive, then it would be really bad to kill. Like, that would be undeniably life. You shouldn't kill that thing. That's murder, for sure. I could totally get down with that. However, the day after you get pregnant, if you get an abortion, I just don't really feel like it was murder. But, you know, I'm only 26, so I have a lot more to learn, a lot more life to live, and I've never been pregnant. I don't want to have children, so maybe I'm a little insensitive to this. For a female, I would say I'm actually pretty unemotional. Before Jesus, what did people believe in? Moses. They were Jewish. Jesus was Jewish. So, I mean, there was other religions out there, but the people in that area were Jewish, so they believed in God. They believed in the prophet of Moses. They had, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, King David, Solomon, you know, all those stories from the Old Testament, you know, the flood, Noah. A lot of Christians, unfortunately, have a very poor understanding of scriptures. It's funny you say that. Now we're talking about religion, and hopefully we'll get back into the book in a moment, but God's like Mars. That's actually what kind of saved me, I would say, from Christianity. I was very, very actively involved in my youth ministry, and me and my current husband, at the time I think we were engaged, but we weren't married yet. We were going to be married in a few months. I think it was like 4 months away. And we were living together. And I got kicked out of the youth ministry for living with him. They asked me to move out and move back in with my grandmother instead of living with my fiance. So I said, you know, I think that's kind of silly. I'm not going to move back to my grandma's house for 3 months and then back in with my fiance. Like, personally, I thought that was very silly, even as a Christian. So then that caused me, so they kicked me out of the youth ministry, where I had very, very strong relationships with many different young girls, and they not only did the youth pastor, and this is going to be awkward if he sees this or if people from the church see this, but it's true. I'm not making any of this up. You could definitely fact check it. Go check with him. I won't say his name, but some people who are local may know. So the youth pastor, not only did he kick me out of the youth ministry, so he wouldn't allow me to serve in the youth ministry, which was my big, huge passion of my life at the time. He also took my membership away from the church. So now I wasn't allowed to be considered a member of the church. They told me I could still go to the church, but I can't say that I'm a member. There was like this whole, it's one of those mega churches, those really big evangelical churches, and you have to go through a certain process to become a member. You have to be a member of a small group, meaning you have to attend a group once a month, or is it once a week? I think it actually might be once a week or once a month, where you had to attend regularly with other people from the church in that small group. You had to volunteer, so I volunteered in the youth ministry. I also volunteered in the kids ministry, the young kids. I taught 4-year-olds and 3-year-olds and bounced around different classrooms as needed. Yeah, they can do that. Yeah, they didn't kick me out of the church, so I could still go to the church. I could still participate in like listening and learning and reading the Bible and learning from the pastors, but I couldn't serve, so I couldn't actually help in the youth ministry. Now, normally I wouldn't have been able to help in the kids ministry either, but there was a woman that headed up the kids ministry, and I don't know, she was awesome. I don't know what happened there. I didn't ask her to do this for me, but she basically pulled some strings and made it so that I could still help the kids, because I was teaching 4-year-olds. It wasn't like I was going to be telling them to move in with their partners. And the same thing with the 13-year-old girls that I was helping. I was never going to recommend to them that they should live with their boyfriends or anything like that, or that they should sleep with their boyfriends at 13 years old. And that's kind of what he was implying. So then it got even worse. Not only did I wasn't able to serve in the youth ministry, and I wasn't allowed to be a member of the church anymore, I think he called all of the moms of the girls that were in my group in the youth ministry and advised all of the parents to that I was a bad influence and that they should not allow me to have interaction with their children anymore. Oof. I didn't know there was still some emotion around this. I just got done saying I'm not very emotional, but whew. Okay, take a moment, take a sip of water, be right back. Thank you guys. So then the parents who didn't, I'll just go in here because now I'm looking kind of crazy. So the parents, yeah, I know, what a nice Christian thing to do. So the parents who didn't answer their phones or didn't answer their voicemails, he went to their houses. He went to each of their houses and had like a meeting with the parents and told them how bad I was. So now the beautiful thing about this was that all of the girls that were in my group and the ones that I was influencing were from a low income area around here, and their parents were like, they thought it was absolutely absurd because, first of all, none of their parents are Christians. One girl's parents was a Wiccan. She was like a straight up witch, and she didn't even allow the girl to have a Bible in her house. So he was definitely not preaching to the choir when he was talking to them. They all still allowed their children to hang out with me and encouraged me and told me what happened. And then they started making calls to the church, not to him, but to the office manager, to the leader of the church or whatever, and started telling them and told them, this guy just called my house. This girl is the best influence in my child's life. There has never been anyone who cared about my child, let alone wants to help them better their life and reach their goals and not have crap happen to them. So I don't think she had a talking black cat, but I think she did have a black cat. I think she did have some cats. A lot of these girls did. A lot of these girls lived in squalor. They didn't have, great lives. They had tons of siblings and tons of pets. People, and not all of them, definitely not all of them. So if one of the girls watches this, it's definitely, it's not like every single person. And the girls are 13. It's not their fault. Their lives are like this. And if the moms watch this, I'm sorry, but, who else is there to blame for the cat litter box not being scooped? And the cats smell like crap because they're walking around in crap, and then they're spreading crap all over the baby's crib from one of the girls who had a baby when she was 16. It's like, I was not a bad influence on them at all. So that was nice. It was nice that they all kind of rallied up to my defense, and we all are still in contact with each other, especially on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So that got to be kind of long, but that's my story, and I've never really shared that on any social media before, and I think it's important for people to know that I hear it a lot from like the right-wing side that, well, Islam is violent and Christianity is kind and loving. And it's like, dude, yeah, I didn't mention any names. It's kind of like, well, what about the Crusades? What about when Christians killed tons of people for not being Christians? What about the emperors that would kill people who weren't Christians, or killed people who were Christians that wouldn't worship them? I mean, it's no different than Christians doing it in the name of Christianity. So, and it's no different than socially ostracizing someone from helping the youth in your society, in your city, your town, your locality, municipality, from receiving help and receiving a launch pad for their life. And after that, none of the people from that area, from that low-income city that's around here, none of the kids were allowed to come back to the youth group unless their parents drove them. So we used to bus them. There was a pastor out in that low-income area, and he would drive a bus. He would pick up all the kids from their houses, bring them to the church, and then he would bring them all home afterwards. And after this, none of the kids, boys or girls, not just the girls in my group, I mean all of them, they weren't doing the buses anymore. They decided that they could not come to the church unless their parents, who didn't have cars most of the time, and were either, maybe they were like on drugs or something, or they had 10 other kids. They're not going to load up all 10 kids into a 5-seater car and bring them to church and then come back in like 2 hours and pick them back up. I mean, Christianity is not what it's portrayed to be in the media, especially in the right-wing media. Even though I politically fall on that spectrum in a huge way. Why do they sow without Jesus? You can't get to God and heaven. That definitely is in the Bible. Oh yeah, I got off track, but that was actually what wasn't in the Bible. In the Bible, it does not say anything about premarital sex. It says nothing. It says nothing about not being able to live with someone or not being able to have sex with them before you're married. Because in the Bible, people were married at like 12 and 13 years old, and they would have sex then. That's how they consummated the marriage. So it wasn't like, sometimes they didn't even know each other beforehand. And they were like 12 or 13, so they weren't even through puberty yet. They weren't really having sex before marriage. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't something that was talked about in the Bible. So when they say that they're enforcing Scripture and they're using Scripture to say that I can't be in the church, they're actually just lying. Like, it's 100% man-made rule. And I said this to so many different members of that church, and they would say to me, you know what, I'm going to find the Scriptures, I'm going to find the passages that say it, I'm going to get back to you, and we're going to talk, and not a single person spoke to me after that. Not a single person called me with any kind of scriptures, any kind of verses, and no one called me and said, oh my God, I never knew that. You're totally right. There's nothing in the Bible about premarital sex or living together before marriage. The only things that they talk about is sexual. They use the word sexual immorality a lot. So in the Old Testament is where they define what sexual immorality is. And one of those immoral things is homosexuality, which I also don't have any problem with, and I never did, even when I was a Christian. So there's, I think, homosexuality, bestiality, so having sex with animals, having sex with someone else's wife, like your neighbor's wife, and then having sex with your mom or your sister or like something. So incest, infidelity, so like if you're cheating on someone or someone's cheating on someone else, adultery, they would call it too. And then bestiality and homosexuality. So that was it. There was nothing else. There was no other sexual immorality. So that's all a bunch of BS. Okay, so back to positivity, right? If we talk Old Testament, what'd you say? Male homosexuality. Yeah, probably, yeah. I think it does specifically say if a man has sex with another man. But if a woman, it's not a big deal. Kind of similar to society today, which is equally enraging. Actually, I was watching a show yesterday, and they were making fun of a toy. It was like a fake toy in this fake show I was watching. It was called Baby Joy Rage. Do you guys read or watch Leverage? That was the show, and they had this like fake baby doll, and the front of the baby doll face was like this happy baby, and then you like flipped it over, and it was like a demon baby. That's kind of what I just did on you guys. So I call this righteous anger. And actually I get that term from the pastor of that church, where he says it's okay to be angry as long as it's a righteous reason that you're angry. Like if you're angry that little girls are being raped around the world,